If you're looking for me to be angry at the game, actually, this is one of the only times I'm going to quit a game, and you're going to see me be like, I think it's a good game. I think Awaken Chaos Era is legitimately a good game. I do believe that. I believe that a lot. And unfortunately, I don't think the data is corresponding with my belief of it being a good game. I'm not talking about the data on my YouTube channel. Any of the data on my YouTube channel, and by YouTube channel, I mean this YouTube channel, not my main one where I have the primary of my focus, is that on this YouTube channel, I've been very inconsistent with uploads on the game. When I do upload with the game, it grows. YouTube channel grows, everything's great. When I don't upload with the game, it goes down. However, I have noticed a correlation where the peak of this game has happened, which always happens. However, after a peak in the game, there's always sort of a dip and then a come back up and a dip and then a come back up and a dip and then a come back up. Let me show you a little bit of data just so that it doesn't just seem like opinion. So this is Sensor Tower, and this is their actual breakdown of Awaken Chaos Era here. So we're just looking at kind of the last little bit of data here, let's say February to May. And the first thing we could maybe do is just look at the review breakdown per day. And if we take a look at this, you're going to see a very obvious downward trend. Seems like a fairly consistent downward trend. And you're going to notice a pretty massive drop-off in April. And then if we go down and we look at the category ranking history here, you're going to see a slow downward trend, and then you're also going to be seeing a very quick dissension trend here. Now, here's the other thing. Let's do one other thing. Let's go Google, what are we going to do here? Google search trends. Okay, let's pull this up. If we go here, top trending searches or whatever, Google Trends. We go here and we type in Awaken Chaos Era. Okay, this is one of the easiest ways to do this past 12 months. What does this remind you of to anybody? If you look at this, what does the fact that this in May here, after what I believe is good updates, I believe the game has been getting better, not worse. I think that's an obvious statement. Their quality of life is getting better. The content's getting better. They're adding more. So how can it be that in May, the game is trending less than in beta? Now, you might say, DM, this is obvious. In beta, there's the hype. People are playing the game. They're trying to get into the beta, so they're Googling it. Okay, fair enough. And then on release, obviously, it's going to be your 100, your peak, of which we're comparing everything else. Okay, that's release. Fair enough. At this point, you might just say to me, well, yeah, obviously, everything's going to be lower than when it was released. And again, I would tell you fair enough. But if we look at the graph, and as we continue downward here, I would argue that if the game is good, and it is good, and it has been continually providing even better updates, I almost say gooder updates, to make the game gooder, then how is it possible that during the time that we had the peak spikes and people got to get their hands on a good game, a good product, and then take that good product, see it and play it for themselves, that those people are not continuing to look up the updates or anything like that for the game? How is it possible that if we have a good game and people love it and there's a community being built around it, that the game is trending down so much so that it's lower than the December 2021 beta? How is that possible? You know, especially if we consider the fact that the quality of life updates are continuing to get better over and over and over again. Where's that community? If the game's so great and everyone keeps saying it, why are the downloads over this period of time 50,000? Why, if I look up the other dead game, which is, I mean, pretty much a dead game, let's admit it, why is it dwarfing it on all fronts? Okay? Not in revenue. However, what does that mean? That means because people aren't spending money in Marvel Future Revolution, they are spending money in Awaken Chaos. Okay? That means there's less money per person being spent in Marvel Future Revolution and more money per person being spent in Awaken Chaos. But they're getting more downloads. Okay. So that's important, the downloads. So let's go back and let's look at Awaken Chaos. So how can it be possible that it's trending down and it seems at a certain point it just starts flatlining? Well, if there's only 50,000 downloads and $1 million revenue, they're getting a lot of money per person. Like, that's an astounding return. Because you have to realize probably 3 out of 10 would be my guess of the downloads are people that are going to be converted to paid users in a somewhat frequently regular basis. Maybe 3 out of 10. Okay, that's probably a little high, to be honest. But I'm talking decent payers. And the revenue they're getting is $1 million. And we're just looking at iTunes, to be fair for this. I can pull up and show you, but I already have prior to inform myself too. And it's very similar data. In fact, here, just to prove that point, I'll show it to you here as well. Look, 90,000 and 1 million. Okay, so it's very similar. We have smaller downloads to larger revenue. That means the average person, and what's interesting is you can actually see the same trend both in the Google Play Store as well as the iOS store. So we have this problem seemingly happening on both sides of it. They got tons of free content out of YouTube. How many of us raid YouTubers have been like, Oasis is better than it? How many people of us have made websites, have articles, made second channels? How much free fucking promotion do they need to get more than 50,000 downloads in the last few months? It's very hard. It is very hard for them to get downloads. And they have ads on Reddit, Twitter, Instagram. I mean, they got ads everywhere, bro. I'm sure you've seen the ads. Okay, so they are, in fact, advertising. And they're making the money per person. So if you look at it, they're making great money per person. 50,000 downloads to $1 million in revenue. That is great return ROI. That is great return on, GDP, on per player. That's fantastic. So how is this possible? Well, money basically equals rushing through the game. Rushing through the game means you get to in-game sooner. The in-game in Awaken Chaos era is boring. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm saying it's boring. These are different. You have to understand. I think the game is good. What I think is people don't understand what the gacha genre is. I'm not saying what we all wish it should be. Don't listen and hear what you want to hear. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying what it is. The gacha genre is for people that like to gamble. You might say I like to collect heroes and build my teams and all that. Sure you do. Great. I'm happy for you. Those are free-to-play players. If you start spending money on the game and you start trying to get, and I say trying because trying is the word, unless you're buying the battle. I'm not talking about battle pass buyers and the monthly gems. That's just efficient use of money. Okay? Respect to you for doing that. I get that. I still buy the monthly pass sometimes. I think I cancel all of them now, but I was buying that even when I stopped spending money on the rest of it, okay? What I'm saying is when you're basically gambling or spending money to get the newest heroes and stuff like that, that is the crux of which rushing to the in-game basically gets you. And the in-game in this game is boring because you get to where there's nothing left to get really quickly. Now, I know they're coming out with new heroes, but the core blood of gacha is collecting new heroes and collecting rare heroes and getting the ones that people want. That's why there's void shards in Raid. That's why there's white dark legendaries in Awaken, because everyone knows, regardless of if we want to admit it or not, the whole reason we play these games is for that 0.1% chance. I mean, how many times has somebody who adamantly tells you how predatory and shitty these games are, sends you a screenshot of their latest legendary pull? It's like, why is that exciting for you? Okay, you understand then why these games are successful. Now, I don't care what other people think about it. I know this for a fact because I've talked to game designers who make these games. I've talked to people who run communities for these games. I've talked to people who implement monetization strategies in these games. I've talked to people who run affiliate programs to go pay other YouTubers in order to get them to promote these games. I've talked to everyone there is to talk to in these communities, ladies and gentlemen, including you, the people. And I can tell you for a fact, the problem with gachas is they're all about getting the dopamine big hit. The problem in Awaken is you get those dopamine hits really quickly, and the rest of it is boring as fuck. You know what I really, really don't understand? Why the only time in all of Awaken Chaos era that we're allowed to skip animations is when we're not playing the goddamn game. they have these random stupid things that frustrate you and make you want to quit. Like, that's one of them, okay? The arena is a definite other one of them. The fact that the trifecta of Hawkrin Mathasia brand is 95% of the game, that's definitely another one. Some of the decisions are so good. I mean, just so good. And there's so much quality of life they've got, just brilliant. There's so much good stuff that they have done in the game. It's mind-blowing me that they do not understand that having an ego over shit that people have told them they fucking hate, they refuse to remove. You know the reason they said originally that skipping animations is never going to be in the game? And by the way, they are banning people for even asking that question during the beta. Just so you know, if you asked, they would ban you off the Discord. Just, that probably doesn't help building the community either, by the way. You should go look at how many people that guy has banned off of their Discord. That does not build a community. Even the other mod, Boredom, I think is his name. He was in my Discord. I DM'd him to ask him why, and he said, oh, because I like your videos. It's the other fucking guy is ruining their own community on top of it. That's just another one that doesn't make any sense, okay? But they do things that over time will ruin their game. Over time, no one's going to play the game a year. Let me put it that way. No one's going to play Awaken Chaos Era for 1 year playing as Hawkrin for 1 fucking year in the arena. No one's going to do it. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. And it's like, it's so right there. It's right there. And it's annoying too, because in the long-term PvE stuff, in the manual, like stun set, rebel set type of content, where it's like, oh, it's sweaty, let me get through this void tower. Okay, doing that type of stuff requires a long time of manual PvE, where once again, they refuse to let you skip animations because they want to make you suffer through it, because by their own admission, they paid too much money to have their animations be skipped. That was literally their fucking answer. That was their answer. So it's like, dude, listen to me. You have people who are doing 3 hours to beat one stage with the slowest clears of all time because it's a tank meta everywhere around the world. Everyone's tanking these giant stat checks like crazy. And before I even hear it, I know somebody in there in the comments going to be like, well, damn, that's because you welled yourself into being bored and now you got nothing to do. Well, you know what? You shouldn't be able to do in a fucking gacha game. Well yourself into being bored. I never even completed the Mystic Void Tower. You think I'm going to have more fun after I can farm the Mystic Void Tower? No. Fuck. It's such stupid logic. Plus, on top of it, those people... If you're one of those people, is there a legendary you want right now in the game? Great. You should not want him because by your own logic, once you get that legendary hero, you're going to be more bored. And let's not even forget, the last game on this channel that we moved on from was Marvel Future Revolution. You know why we moved on from that game? Because they had really bad over monetization to the point of, I mean, we're talking 20, 30, 40, 50, $60,000 if you want to be able to be in the outfit that you want, bro. I mean, ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous. With no pity system. No pity system. Okay, so the obvious answer to this is, where are we going? What is next? It's all going to Diablo Immortal. This is blindingly obvious to me. Diablo Immortal is going to be where I want to go. My previous audience with Marvel Future Revolution is going to be very in line with this type of game. This is an action, top-down, RPG controlling a hero. It's an MMO, basically on a phone, much less of a gacha, even though it is going to be, a thing where you can spend money on it, or pay to win, whatever you want to call it. It's going to be one of those, but it is still going to be probably closer to my original audience. Now, I want to address one more comment, and when you see this comment, because we're going to get them, when you see this comment in the video, feel free to roast them for not watching the video and leaving this comment. Regardless, there's going to be some people that are being like, oh, typical YouTuber leaving because he can't make enough money on it. He's going for the money. Okay, well, just like when Marvel Future Revolution, when I walked away from Marvel, there is more money in staying in games always. The most money you will ever see, and this is why the largest YouTubers, go look at Clash YouTubers, stuff like that, the largest YouTubers are overwhelmingly positive with energy. They never shit on the game. They never say how they feel about the game. They come out and they talk about the game, being like, oh, here's this great update, guys. Can't wait to tell you about it. And I'm not trashing on them. It is the smart, correct, valid, best strategy for growth and most revenue implementation of a YouTuber you can possibly do. It is how you should be. And it is how I will be once Diablo Immortal comes out. For sure, bro. I'm going hard on that game. I'm going to be pushing it like you'll never see before. But then on the other side, I'm going to be getting the comments that, oh, well, DM's a shill for Diablo Immortal. Well, the same people that say that are the same people that are going to leave the comments in here making up some stupid bullshit theory about why I no longer like the game. Instead of listening to the entire video, I just edited out and showing data and walking you through my years of experience and business experience in this genre. So feel free to roast those people who didn't make it to the end of the video and commented 3 minutes in because they heard some one random point they disagree with. You can handle that one if you guys would like. With that being said, prepare to see some Diablo Immortal content start getting dumped because that's where it's going. I'll probably cover Marvel Future Revolution for a little bit until Diablo Immortal comes out just because there's a new Scarlet Witch thing going on. I'm not going back to Marvel Future Revolution permanently like people think I am. And just when I made one video on Marvel Future Revolution, you still get the comments being like, oh, you had to come back for the views because you couldn't get them on Awaken. It's like, bro, Jesus Christ. Like, not everything's a tinfoil hat, dude. Not everything. And it's me saying, I'm the one saying not everything's a tinfoil hat. Sometimes you just get bored of games, you know, even when they're good games like Awaken Chaos. And sometimes good games die too. Trust me, any RuneScape player knows this.